Feeling marvelous today on the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable. But been waiting to use that. I'm Rob, the only one not wearing spectacles. Next to me in the basement is Galen. In the upper far corner is Chris Perry, the guru himself. And directly above me in the penthouse in the gold mine, gold vault, is Mr. Michelle. That's right, Marvel Discovery in Vancouver, CEO Karim Rayani. They're on the Toronto Venture Exchange at MARV, MARV. You guys know MARV. You remember MARV? You guys remember MARV? Michelle, start us off talking about MARV.
For sure, Rob. So Marvel Discovery is a junior that acquires and explores multiple assets. And these assets are all focused in Canada. And a very big difference, some of you guys might know the CEO, Karim Rayani, that Rob mentioned. He is the CEO also of Falcon Gold. But the big difference is this company, Marvel Discovery, is not just gold focused. It is focused on multiple commodities here: gold, platinum, palladium, uranium, nickel, copper, rare earth elements. And the reason for this is that this mitigates investment risk via a multiple commodity play. So it's not just going to be based on the price of gold or silver, but it has multiple commodities to mitigate that risk. And just as we spoke about with Falcon Gold, this company has a bunch of assets that are close to or next to major finds and producers. Gander East here is their project that they're about to begin drilling next to Newfound Gold's asset, which recovered 9.12 grams per ton gold over 8.2 meters. Marvel is going to begin a drill program there. We're talking about a uranium asset next to Cameco and Fission, a rare earth metal project near Defense Metals asset, and the list goes on, even with the gold project next to big miner Agnico Eagle there.
Yes, indeed. 6 provinces. They have projects in 6 provinces. Chris knows Karim very well. Heavy concentration in Newfoundland. And as you just mentioned, they're cranking up some drill programs in Gander East there that came out on June 14th. Chris Perry?
Yeah. So mining, hey? All right. Listen, there aren't many stocks around the market where if you bought today, you'd be paying more than you were paying in December of last year. And MARV is one of those that is the case. Yeah, it's down since last week and last month, but everything is. That's not really something to tie around their neck and set fire to. Look, it's a little company, $4 million market cap. Rayani has a reputation for finding properties that cost next to nothing, that generally have a whole lot of closeology attached to them, and either flipping them for more, bringing in partners, or specifically with Karim spinning them out. And Marvel is a spin out from his other property, Falcon Gold, his other company, Falcon Gold, which if you look at the share chart is the same. You would have paid less for it in December of last year than you'd be paying for it today, despite the downturn. That too is a small company in terms of market cap, only $8 million. But look, if you're investing in Meta over the last 5 years, you're up 3%. If you invested in Exxon over the last 5 years, you're up 10%. If you invested in the Ginger Beef Company, you're up 250%, which is kind of my thesis for if you're going to, anything less than like blue chip, 10-year range sort of, investing where you just look at it once every 10 years and don't worry about it day to day. If you're actually looking to do a bit of a trade and you don't want to sit here just going buy, sell all day, you look for the little guys, right? The little guys who their market cap is low enough that it doesn't really make sense that they would go down. It might make sense that they go up based on a couple of pieces of news, a discovery, a little bit of drilling. Marvel is one of those. Falcon Gold is one of those. I've been invested in and out of those companies over the last year, And I can't say that I've made a fortune, but I also can't say I've lost a fortune. They've held up, whereas Meta has not. Whereas companies like Apple are doing a bit of a struggle of late. So I don't know. In a down market, I want to be somewhere where it doesn't make much sense for a stock to go down lower. I don't want to be in Tesla trying to justify a $600 billion market cap, or in a company like Canopy that's lost a couple of $1 billion on the cannabis market these past couple of years and has just given all their executives a pay rise while being down 90% on their market cap. Like, here's for the little guys. Karen Riani, go do your thing, big boy.
Now, the pot companies, the executives really love to give themselves raises lately.
Oh my God, Canopy, you're losing money hand over fist. But hey, let's give the boss a couple of $1 million pay rise.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Tilray guy did 31 million for himself.
Oh man.
By the way, another interesting one is the fact that Marvel is they have the little deal in Prince George, outside of Prince George. So they have some BC mining going on, which is pretty funky. No, Galen?
Which you don't know.
Well, Kareem is well known for having a grab bag, an assortment of mineral properties. And as Vishal said, it can insulate you from the ever sliding markets on any metal. Sometimes one's up, the other one's down. And you have a lot of junior companies out there that say, okay, we're a gold explorer. We're going to explore gold. As soon as gold goes in the toilet, we're a nickel explorer. We're going to really get into that nickel. And then as soon as nickel goes in the toilet, we're looking for cobalt. We can get some cobalt. At least with Kareem, he's got it already. It's just sitting there. And when time becomes advantageous, he can turn it into a profitable operation. Not that it necessarily isn't right now, but he's prepared for any situation to a certain extent. Very early stage, I guess you could say, in that term. But what he's building is an opportunity, as Chris mentioned earlier on, for spin-outs and spin-offs. And the guy's, full of all sorts of ideas and really wants to press ahead. In fact, he's been talking about a small modular reactor business, something called Marvel Energy. This is, something that he was just been talking about. And, that plays into where we're going these days. We need constant power to energize our grids. And we're not necessarily going to get that from solar, or closest we could do is even hydro, I suppose. But, nuclear is where it's at. And these small modular reactors are about the most economical way to go at it, because they can not only just supply grids, they can also do heavy duty industry as well, and power specific plants. So, as I said, Kareem is a man of ideas, and it shows. He's a very active individual and very sort of bright to talk to. And so he goes out, and as a prospector by trade, he finds these properties for next to nothing, gets them for insanely good deals, and they have all the closology in the world. And eventually he's going to hopefully find something that's going to be really nice and tasty that he can roll out. And all of a sudden, not only are you a shareholder in one company one day, you're a shareholder in 3 the next. So that's for me where the value proposition in Marvel Discovery lies. Probably a little early for me, but I'm a different kind of investor.
Well, we'll come back and hit you up for cash in a second here. MARV is MARV on the Toronto Venture Exchange. It's Marvel Discovery. Chris alluded to the charts.
Yep.
It's a neat looking roller coaster, man. If you like roller coasters, that'd be a fun ride, but over the long term, that is. What do you got?
Yeah, Rob, it is for sure. And just by habit, I did have the chart of gold here, but of course, this stock is, dealing with multiple commodities to mitigate investment risk. So it doesn't necessarily move with what gold does, although, gold and silver and many of the other metals, which, count as commodities and are part of Marvel's portfolio, are continuing to range here. So once we get that breakout or breakdown, but hopefully a breakout, that would be positive for the commodity space overall in general. And as you alluded to, yes, quite the roller coaster ride here on Marvel Discovery. This is a daily chart, going back from 2021 to present day. We had a really, really nice 2021 with the stock trading at under 5 cents and hitting highs at just above 21.5 cents there. And then from mid 2021 to present, or to the end of the year, so to the beginning of 2022, the stock gave up its gains, going from 21.5 cents there down to 7.5 cents. And we found some base there back in December of 2021. And from there had a nice move into 2022, hitting highs at 16.5 cents on April 28th in 2022. Since then, you can see here, the stock is now heading lower and lower. However, I think we are approaching that 7.5 cent zone, which, has acted as support in the past here multiple times. And I think, you can even say 8.5 cents would be a decent support level here. So there's quite a lot of support in this zone here. And really, I think, if you're someone that wants to look for these technical areas to enter a long-term position or just a trade, right? If it's just a trade for a bounce, I think this is an area that you should definitely have marked on your chart. And on the day that we are recording this video, just under 8.5 cents there, the stock did jump up 11 cents for the day with about 19,000 volume of shares traded. So I'm going to be watching this support level here. I do favor that 7.5 cent zone, and I think if the stock can remain, there's my bid fender, but if we can remain elevated above 7.5 cents there, I think we can build a strong case for some sort of bottoming pattern here and another bounce like we saw in early 2022 here.
By the way, you mentioned the recording. This is almost practically a real time. So when folks see this, it's essentially we're looking at the chart as is most recent. So this is a quick turnaround, which means when we say how much we're going to spend, we're talking about right now, Chris Perry, right now.
If I'm trying to time things for the falling knife, I probably want to see another couple of days at this level before I jump in, because it is very volatile. It's up and down. One of the biggest shareholders in the company is the CEO of the company, and he's often announcing new buys. I think it's good to hold a little bit of this just regardless of the day-to-day, because the tendency is for, if you hold it long enough, you're going to get a spin out or two or three. So you're going to have mystery stocks show up in your portfolio. So I'd probably throw, 1,000 down now, but I'd keep an eye on if it hits that 7 or 8 cents, I'd be all in.
Galen?
I have to agree with Chris at this point in time. Not really too sure where it's heading. I'd like to see some stability as to where it's at right now. Now, as I said earlier, not necessarily my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean I'm completely uninterested. I just like to look at more long-term stuff. So actually, I'd probably throw $1,000 in too, because Kareem impresses me in terms of what he can make happen. And I think with a long enough time window, he'll be able to pull some things in that, will make my $1,000 investment worth it.
And the Mr. Resource Fischel.
I'm in the same boat there. I think $1,000, and I'm going to be watching the 7.5 cent zone. If we do land there and begin to bounce and create some sort of range like we did in late 2022, I might consider adding a bit more. But right now, just because it's an early stage company, we'll sort of see what happens with the drill results here. A lot of projects in prospective lands next to big players, so I'm hoping they'll hit something in one of these drill campaigns.
$3,000 total, heading out towards the folks at MARV, M-A-R-V, Marvel Discovery Corp on the Toronto Venture Exchange under Kareem Riani. They're headquartered in Vancouver. The quote of the roundtable today, just 2 words: ginger beef. It has been 7 months, I believe, since we did the ginger beef roundtable. We might have to just do a little update one of these days just for fun.
If ginger beef is a better investment over 5 years than Exxon and Facebook/Meta, if you'd invested in Manchester United 5 years ago, you're down 28%.
Oof.
Or if you invested in Rick's Cabaret, you're up 100%.
We can't guarantee results. Past performance is not guaranteed future results. Please do your homework on MARV, and we'll see you on the very next Equity Guru Investor Roundtable.